live for reporting to you live for Vice Sports. This floating football pitch in southern Thailand is unforgiving. Any mistake and the game has to stop. But since being built, it has transformed the island community of Koh Panyee.
Thailand may be a relative newcomer on the international football scene, but the sport has been enjoying a prolific boom in the last 30 years. Reporting to you live from ESPN News.
My name is Koh Panyee. I am now 45 years old and a leader in Koh Panyee.
I was a member in Panyee FC.
I am Panyee FC.
It's just a game.
Dribbling, dodging.
It's just a game.
Crisscrossing and bumping.
It's just a game.
You see when I play.
It's just a game.
I'm on fire.
It's just a game.
When I shoot,
It's just a game.
I inspire.
It's just a game. Just a game. A game.
From Sportnet News, knowing the love of the game, more events on the tiny island of Koh Panyee in the Packet National Park of South Thailand. It's hard to believe that anybody will be playing football in this kind of landscape.
Reporting for the National Geographic. Koh Panyee village was built on stilts by Indonesian settlers. The three pillars of daily life are religion, fishing, and now football.
in our village, everyone loved to watch football, but we had never played. You see, we live on a fishing island and space is pretty hard to find. The only sport played is boat racing and telling tales about the fish you caught.
My fish is this big. My fish is this big. My fish is this big. Oh.
One day, one of the boys had an idea. He suggested to form a team of our own.
Yeah!
When the other villagers heard about it, they thought it was ridiculous.
Hey, what are you noisy kids doing? You're scaring away the fishes.
Yeah, the fish are like floating football.
Crazy kids. We're starting a football team, and we're gonna be world champions! Look around you. Look where you live. I got it.
We realized they were right. We had nowhere to play or in practice. We had ourselves a football team, but we didn't have a pitch. Whoops, sorry. I got it. This was a real problem because where we lived, space was something we couldn't have. We decided we had to create our own space.
We started by collecting old wood from around the village, tying fishing rafts together and worked after school to finish the play surface. I was born here. I've now grown up to be a leader in this community. 1,700 people live here on this island. When we first started football, we would play on the beach. When our community got bigger, we needed to build more houses, so we no longer used the sandfields. When we saw the villagers using the rafts for fishing, our idea was to use the rafts to make a football pitch, which would handle both high tide and low tide.
After a lot of hard work, we had our own pitch to play on. It was uneven and shaky and had nails sticking out everywhere. The ball fell in the water often and so did we, so we had to learn to play on a wet and slippery surface.
Slip and slide.
Up and down with the tide.
Net can't be too wide.
Up and down with the tide.
Sun shining down, our feet get fried.
Up and down with the tide.
When the nails stick, ow, I cried.
Up and down with the tide.
The pitch was also really small, so our footwork got really good. Mr. Pansett and his friends built the first pitch out of scraps of wood in the 80s, and since then it has been rebuilt and improved upon many times.
The first version of the pitch was constructed nearly 30 years ago, but was made out of wood and was even harder to play on.
You won't become champions on that thing.
One morning, a flight came from mainland. It was a one-day tournament.
Should we go?
I don't know.
Should we go?
Oh no!
Should we go?
I think
so.
Should we go? Should we go?
The team's training regime is very strict, and they continue to have skill practices on the floating pitch.
The floating pitch is quite different than the land pitch. Sometimes waves hit us as we play. It's more about controlling your body. If we're playing and practicing and the ball falls into the water, it's quite a problem. We may have to build a fence.
We didn't know if you're good enough to enter the tournament.
We used to play in bare feet. Sometimes we hit the nails with our feet. If we were playing and the surface got too hot, we would jump into the water. People in the village thought we were crazy when we built the pitch. As we expanded, the villagers started to notice us.
We made the decision to play anyway.
You don't look like champions in those clothes. You look better in these.
We had never had jerseys or real football socks or football boots.
Everybody around from the village raised money for our new uniform. Some of them even came to cheer us on.
Koh Panyee! Koh Panyee! Koh Panyee! What started out as a crazy little idea has transformed Koh Panyee in the past 30 years since. A love for a game has passed through the generation. The village football obsession has put Koh Panyee on world map. They have since built a more permanent pitch, and the team trains there every single evening.
When we face teams in the tournament, we have to give. They give 100%, we have to give 200%. Our effort has to double. When we got to the tournament, we were very nervous. Better than we thought. Our skills had developed nicely on the wooden pitch.
Panyee footballers don't have it easy, but if anything, this has made them more determined.
Regulation goalposts are much bigger than the ones we have been using on the wooden pitch. It was much easier to score. We made it to the semifinal. Yay!
Two players that grew up in Koh Panyee, Plum and Watchapong, have since gone playing as professionals.
It was amazing living on a small island as a small community. I was just a normal kid until the day I discovered football. I became crazy about it. I saw Mr. Prancett play. That made me want me to be more like him. For me, I am who I am today because of football.
People say we don't even have a football field to play on. So how can we play good football? Pressure gives us 400 proof that we, a small community, compete with others.
Semi-final started badly. It was raining heavily and the other team was really good. Our boots were filled with water, which slowed us down a lot. The other team was up by 2 at halftime.
With our spirits down, we couldn't figure out how to turn the game around. With a bad first half, we had to do something.
Pressure gives us 400 proof that we, a small community, can compete with others.
For
For me, I am who I am today because of football. So we got rid of our wet boots and played in our bare feet. It was much more comfortable for all of us and we could move much faster. It was much more easier for us to score.
We scored 2 goals and even the score. It's an identity for Panyee people.
It shows that Panyee people have talent and skill.
I try to do things people say are impossible, then make the impossible possible.
Oh! But a last-minute goal gave the other team the win. Oh!
We are disappointed, but we're happy we've gotten this far and the rest of the village were proud of us.
Be proud of yourself.
After that, football became Panyee's #1 pastime. We built ourselves a smooth new pitch with no nails in it at all.
The latest nail-free incarnation was created in 2010 as in part of an advertising campaign. And since the ad was aired, it has become increasingly popular with tourists. That has also helped local restaurants and business to flourish. It also stopped all the young migrating to the mainland. The club they started is regarded as one of Southern Thailand's most top football clubs, youth champion since 2004.
The pitch has even mended conflicts between the mainlanders and the islanders.
Everyone from the community will come to see the game.
We play the Starboard team here from the mainland. They're the top team in the Pangna region. We have played 20 matches with them. There used to be a massive prejudice, and now we play as equals.
Jobs here are better than on the mainland now. The young can find money here easier.
As Chief Legislator in Koh Panyee, I think we should keep the football pitch for our children and grandchildren because we could say the floating pitch is unique to the village.
The population has increased by the third over past generations. New buildings are constantly springing up, and despite that the fact that the tiny island and now a concrete pitch with a net around it. This island chief is keen to maintain the floating version.
It's a success story both on and off the pitch.